Hello, everyone. So, any sort of feelings of lack, any sort of feelings that we don't have enough, or that we have to be scared of not being taken care of and fighting for to make sure that we are having our needs met, is a complete illusion. It is completely delusional to live in this way. Why? Now, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you a thing. The thing is that energy is everywhere. Abundance is everywhere. It is all, there's fruitful abundance of joy, and everything you could ever want is everywhere. Jack, what are you talking about? Don't you ever see the news or like feel envious by seeing someone on social media? Yeah, I I do. But here's the thing. I'm going to tell you a thing. When there is energy everywhere, full of infinite abundance, full of everything that you could ever want, the only thing that is getting in the way of you actually experiencing that is not a problem with the energy. The energy is great. It's simply because there is a problem with your own vessel to actually contain it. So what a lot of us do is try to blame the energy as though the energy isn't coming to us and we're just a victim. And we need to shift from feeling like a victim to realizing that all the energy wants to come to us and it's all there, but there's simply some sort of ways that are unique to each of us in which we are incapable of actually containing it. Because really, if we had everything we ever wanted just come to us right away, it would be like pouring a, infinite water into a 4 ounce cup. So what would happen is that the cup would overflow, there would be chaos, and you just wouldn't be able to contain that. So what's really happening is that we are given, when we feel all of this lack, when we feel all of this fear of not having enough, this is an illusion to think that there's not enough energy. And everything that we experience, the darkness that we experience, is actually there to help us to contain more energy. Why? When we feel the lack, when we feel the fear, it's actually there to help us to expand. It's like, hey, I want to pour more water into your cup. I would love to because there's water everywhere, it's infinite. However, you have limiting beliefs that you haven't really transformed. You have a lot of this self pity, you have these anger issues. And so, I know it's like the creator is saying to us, like, hey, like, I know you want all of this abundance. Let's give it to you. Just the thing is, I, you just need to expand yourself by getting rid of this darkness that you have, this darkness of envy, of anger, whatever it is. And so when we don't see that, then we think that it's all working to like try and hurt us, but in reality it's all here to really help us. And we just simply get to experience this as an opportunity to transform the darkness into light. And this might sound like why does it have to be this way? So okay, think about like a father who wants to give his kid a present, so he gets him a puzzle, and the father loves his kid and says, you know what, I love my kid, don't want to see him struggle too much. So he comes to the kid and says, I got you this puzzle and I made it for you, here you go, this is your gift. The kid would be like, what are you saying? This is not really a gift, How am I supposed to feel rewarded for this when you've already done it for me? So when there's a project you want to do, if there's a relationship you want, if there's some sort of abundance that you would like to have in your life, that's a wonderful sign. That means that there's something that is fulfilled that is calling you and you completely deserve it, and that's very exciting. And then when you start to feel all of this overthinking, all of this doubt, or it's like people are turning against you, people are talking badly about you, this is actually a perfect sign. This is actually the gift that you've always wanted, because you want to do, maybe you want to start that business. Maybe you want to experience all that abundance that comes from doing the work you love to do, from being around those wonderful people. The problem is you can't contain all of that abundance right now. And so when you're seeing all of this overthinking and fear and lack being awakened within yourself, it's really specifically designed to say, hey, like, I need you to transform this and eradicate this darkness so that you can be a big enough container for all these blessings that that are calling you. So it's actually a beautiful thing. And when we feel this lack or fear or anger, it's specifically working for us to grow into the best version of ourselves. And when we don't see this, and we simply see it as darkness and nothing else, then this is understandable that we would want to identify with it. If we don't know that it's really light trying to reveal itself, then of course you would want to be reactive, because when you're feeling that, you just want to escape it. It's like if someone triggers your anger, then you would just want to yell because it would feel good and it would alleviate the discomfort that you feel. Like that would be fun. So we must absolutely know that what's really happening is that it's not just darkness for the sake of darkness. It's actually the exact earning opportunities, you could say, for you to reveal that light, to reveal that transformation, to reveal the bigger vessel that you have within yourself to contain more abundance. So it's very important that we realize that this is actually light that's trying to be revealed, but it's trapped within those blockages, those barriers of whatever sort of darkness you hold, whether it's self-pity, resentment, anger, anything. And so a lot of us see the challenges that come and think, oh, I really shouldn't be doing this project. And then they identify with that and they give up on their business ideas, or they give up on that YouTube channel. But actually, they're meant to experience that. They're meant to go through that and reveal the light that is really there. And this is so hard because when we identify with this and we think that it's real, then it's like you can't actually reveal the light. So I'm making this video to explain that we need to be we need to transform, and we get to transform by being in the awareness when we are in those tests. Whenever there's a test, you can either win and like transform the darkness and really accomplish some inner work on yourself, or you can be reactive and basically like flunk the test. So for example, maybe you're just like on social media and you see someone like living a really nice life and you're like, oh wow, I would love that. And so this is an opportunity. You can either be reactive or you can be proactive. To be reactive would be to like shut down your vessel and delay the process of containing more light and abundance. To be reactive would mean what? It would mean anything that comes from a place of fear or lack in order to have instant gratification. So maybe you start being passive aggressive with this person when you actually see them or when you're actually texting them, or maybe you start clicking on their friend's profile or like investigating other people or like sending them some sort of evil eye, or just like going throughout your day and being mean to other people because you're still kind of looped into this delusional narrative. This would be reactive, and this looks different for everybody in whatever way that someone might be inclined to feel reactive. To be proactive would be to be free of identification with those feelings. So yes, you still feel the lack and the envy. However, instead of acting out of the fear, you actually go into that cause of fear. You investigate it and you proactively put your awareness into it. So you can just continue throughout your day, but when those thoughts come up, you actually feel them. You sense and place all of your awareness on what is happening physically, what is happening in my emotions, what is happening in my intellect. Not in the means of like some intellectual exercise, but in the sense that it's like you're watching a movie, and instead of being like an actor in the movie, you're like in the audience and you're watching it as the projector. So you're not identified with it. You're not being and feeding your reactive nature, but instead you're holding union in awareness so that you can basically literally shine light. You're in the consciousness, you're in the awareness. That is light. And when you're holding on to that while you're still feeling all of the emotions, then you're completely expanding yourself and transforming and fulfilling your soul's purpose. And that's a sign that you're truly working on yourself, and that is extremely exciting. You're literally expanding yourself to contain all of the blessings your soul could ever ask for when you do this. And you're essentially holding awareness. You're like, okay, you still feel the emotions. You actually really feel the emotions. You feel the thoughts. You notice the thoughts, but as the observer. So something you can even say is like, I notice I'm seeing these thoughts and feelings, desires in myself to lash out at this person, to um, passive aggressively text this person. I'm noticing all of this. And you'll notice thoughts, you'll notice feelings, you'll notice desires. That's okay. You can, this is like the idea that I'm getting at here is like, okay, I notice this. I choose to feel this. I choose to see this. I don't want to escape from this, but I'm feeling it. And by placing your awareness into it, it's like you're meditating with it. You're sitting with it. And this will reveal, it's like you're in the chaos and you're bringing light to it. And this, by nature, will transform all of that chaos and confusion into clarity, into peace. So this is beautiful because now that that darkness has been awakened, but you held awareness, you were with the consciousness, with the light, as you experience that darkness, even though, yes, you still feel the emotions, but you held your awareness as you were feeling them. You are, it's like the creator was like, hey, here's some darkness. There's light here for you to expand and experience. And you were like, okay, let me feel this darkness and keep the light of awareness as I feel it. And when you do this, you do the transformation. You literally build a spiritual credit within yourself, and you expand your vessel to contain more light, more abundance. And that can come in the form of just general internal spiritual fulfillment internally, or in the form of like actually having those things manifested, having better relationships manifested, having more money manifested, having a better life manifested, because the trapped light within the darkness was given to you and you revealed it. That's really exciting. Okay. Anyways, yes. When we are in the reactive world, though, it is very tempting to be identified with it. And what I'm explaining is a very hard thing to do in practice, because what is the world of reactive, of low vibration, instant gratification? When we are identified with this world, we basically exit the realm of infinity, the awareness, which is infinity, and instead we enter the finite game. So maybe something is triggered and we feel like envious or angry. And why would we not want to be reactive? Because when we enter identification and we just unconsciously lose the awareness and like allow that darkness to feel like real, that lack that you feel and you feel like it's real, then whatever you do from there will draw that into it. This is the world where you leave infinity and instead it's like there's one pizza pie, and whenever someone takes a slice, that means there's less for you and you need to fight, you need to try to control other people. And this is the sort of game that we play, and it's so limiting, because why have a single slice of a pie when you can have everything? But it's just so tempting for us to really want to play that finite game, that reactive finite game. And so anytime we feel tempted to play that game is when we stay in the infinity, we stay in the awareness. So I hope that this is helpful, because when we stay in the awareness, we're going to be tested. We're going to be tested like, hey, are you sure you don't want to play that reactive game and try to get instant gratification? These tests are going to come up, and we'll be able to like choose essentially. And what we need to remember is, like, as tempting as it will be to identify, we must be completely certain in the infinity world, the world of abundance. As I started out saying in this video, everything is abundance. There's infinite energy everywhere. It's not a problem with the energy, it's the problem with our vessel. So this is hard when we're seeing certain things with our physical eyes and our logical mind is telling us certain things. It's going to be hard to be certain that everything is abundant, that there is abundance. But this is the test. So if you're seeing with your physical eyes, like, oh, your bank account is low on funds, or people seem to be like turning against you, or you're getting like just annoying events happening in your life, even when you're looking at your statement in your bank and you're like seeing these physical numbers, and your logical mind is telling you all these things about how you don't have enough, about how there's so much lack, can you still be certain that there is infinite energy everywhere, that you already have everything, that everything is whole, everything is perfect, you already have everything? Can you still be certain in that? And if you can, which you can, you do it. You say, yes, I am still certain that I have everything. I see all sorts of things that my logical mind is telling me, but I have complete, infinite certainty beyond anything that my mind is telling me that I have everything. And when you do this, you can actually manifest that externally, because everything that is external is a reflection of what we hold internally. So if you are identified with some narratives that you don't have enough, that you have lack, that you don't have enough money, that will reflect externally, and you will continue playing this chasing game, and that's how your life will look like externally. So the reason you stay in the certainty is because when you even despite all the narratives and things you're seeing that seem really discouraging physically, when you still choose certainty, when you still choose to identify with the world of infinity and awareness, then that draws in that consciousness. So it's when you step out of that world that you actually draw in more fear and lack. So yes, it's going to be your logical mind, your physical world showing you all the reasons you shouldn't be certain, showing you all the reasons you shouldn't feel abundant. But when you choose to feel certain and embody the certainty that energy is everywhere, and you are abundant, and you are wealth, and you are completely all good, that is how it can actually manifest externally. So choose that. That is what I say, is choose that certainty, choose that vibration of abundance, no matter what you see physically, no matter what you see in your mind. And this is this way you can actually let go, because when you're trying to solve something from fear, it's actually an illusion that it would actually help, because you're just drawing in more fear into whatever you're trying to solve. So I hope that this is helpful. If you guys want to go more in depth on anything, just let me know. Everything that is external is a reflection of what you hold internally. If you're making food for dinner and you have a vision in your mind that that food is going to be scarce, it's going to be bland, people aren't going to like it, you're going to make dinner and that's what's going to be manifested. But if you hold a vision in your mind that the food will be great, that however it turns out, it'll be great, that you're certain that no matter how the process goes, the food will come out exactly as it is meant to. So instead of feeling this lack and fear, you're making it from a place of wholeness and certainty. Are you still gonna boil the vegetables? Are you still gonna, put the spatula on the pan? Yes, you are. You know, even though the external activity looks very similar, there's a completely different consciousness involved with the meal. And it changes the way when the consciousness of certainty and wholeness is infused into that meal, when that abundance mindset is like infused into the meal, then even though everything externally took place the same, basically, um, the result is completely different. The food actually does taste better. The people actually do enjoy the food. So I think you guys see what I'm saying. Um, Thanks for watching. Peace out.